Today we are looking at the life of a famous Australian athlete who was nicknamed the Golden Girl. She is Betty Cuthbert, who won 3 gold medals at the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne, Australia. She was named in 1998 an Australian National Treasure and was inducted as a legend in the Sport Australia Hall of Fame in 1994 and the Athletics Australia Hall of Fame in 2000. Betty Cuthbert was born on the 20th of April 1938 in the Sydney suburb of Merrylands as a fraternal twin to Marie. Her parents owned a plant nursery. They moved to Emmington, where she attended Emmington Public School, then Parramatta Home Science School. She left school at the age of 16 to work in the family nursery. Cuthbert said her parents always encouraged her and she had a good home life. She said, "We were always taught to respect things and other people." She attended Sunday school as a child. Before the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, Betty was an unknown. She didn't expect to be selected and had bought tickets as a spectator. But at just 18, she burst from anonymity and captured the heart of the nation, winning 3 gold medals. She won the 100 metres, the 200 metres, and won another gold medal in the 4x100 metre relay. She was the first Australian athlete, male or female, to win 3 gold medals at a single Games. Betty said that just before she ran in Melbourne, her grandmother gave her a Bible verse which became one of her favourites. It was Isaiah 40:31, which says, "But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will be strong like eagles, soaring upward on wings. They will walk and run without getting tired." Her success was inspirational for millions. Television was introduced in Australia just in time for the 1956 Olympic Games, and it was the ideal platform for a new Australian legend to be unveiled. Aiming for her second Olympics, Betty was at peak fitness for the 1960 Games. However, a torn leg muscle forced her to withdraw and became her cue to retire. Although content in retirement, Betty said a voice within told her to run again. She resisted at first, but the compulsion was overwhelming. She believed that God was guiding her. So at the age of 26, she started preparations for the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, stepping up in distance to the 400 metres. She won her 4th and last gold medal in this race. It was this race that Betty described as her perfect race. She says that was because the 4th gold medal made her career more indelible in people's minds. It was part of God's plan to give her a greater opportunity to speak to others about her faith in Christ. Then in the 1970s, Betty was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Her fighting spirit came to the fore. She was actively involved with the disease. She supported research and the function of the Multiple Sclerosis Society. In 1997, in an interview with Peter Fitzsimons of the Sydney Morning Herald, she talked about her battle with MS. Now grievously afflicted physically by the multiple sclerosis, she showed no trace of bitterness and no agony that such a healthy life should come under attack for no apparent reason. She explained her attitude this way: "Because I knew the truth and God gave it to me for a reason, that's all I used to think. I never ever once said, 'Why me?' And she said God's reason was because God wanted me to use this to help other people. My condition generated a lot of publicity, and because of that a lot of people gave to the MS Society, and it just went on from there." From 1991 on, her close friend Rhonda Gillam felt the call of God to look after Betty full-time. This was timely as Betty's condition worsened and she became confined to a wheelchair. Despite her disabilities, Betty continued to be involved in fundraising for charitable issues. A scammer duped both Betty and Rhonda into contributing all their savings into an investment scheme, which failed, leaving Betty potentially bankrupt. When news of Betty's plight reached the media, the response by Australians was overwhelming. A testimonial lunch and the auction of some memorabilia raised $270,000, which enabled her to buy back her property. At the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games, Betty, in her wheelchair, was one of the torchbearers. Betty Cuthbert died on 6th of August 2017. In 2018, posthumously, she was made a Companion of the Order of Australia for eminent service to athletics at the national and international level, particularly as a gold medalist at the Melbourne and Tokyo Olympic Games, and as a role model, fundraiser and advocate for research into a cure for multiple sclerosis. Betty Cuthbert was an amazing athlete and an amazing example of a person of Christian faith facing the adversity of disease. Christians